Hello all and welcome to another Last Epoch build. My name is Boba and today I have a ShatterStrike build for you guys. But before we get into the build, as always, a huge thank you to all the people who like, comment and subscribes. We're over 100 subscribers now, let's get to 500. Anyway, the build is similar to the Flame Reaver build. It uses two abilities, a charger and a spender. The charger will deal little damage, but as we use it, it will build up stacks to be used by the spender and deal massive damage. I'll leave a link to the Flame Reaver build in case you're interested, it's a pure fire build. Anyway, this build will pretty much have all the damage we need from our abilities, and therefore we can focus our gear on getting health and resistances, together with a little bit of ward. We will also be getting ward from our abilities, which make this build very good at surviving. If you're new to Last Epoch, this is a beginner friendly build, since most of the damage and survivability comes from the abilities itself, and therefore you don't need it on the gear. Okay, let's finish this monolith and get into the build.
I cannot do that.
Okay, talents. We have 7 points in Scholar, Health and Mana, 8 points in Arcanist for Intelligence, Fire Resist and Lightning Resist, and 5 points for attack speed. The faster we attack, the faster we build our charges. Then I went 63 points in Spellblade, I went for 8 points in Infused Weapon for the cold damage for cold melee attacks and fire damage for the fire melee attacks. We use them both because Firebrand is fire ability and ShatterStrike is a cold ability. 3 points in Elemental Affinity, increase elemental damage, increase elemental resistances. We went for the Arcane Shield. As we're attacking, we get 4 seconds of shield, we'll be attacking all the time, so we will have this shield all the time. It gives us 10% reduced damage taken. We decide to shatter it, we only take 1 point in this, so we shatter it. It will be 60% less effective, but it will stack up to 4 times. So rather than 10, we will be getting 4, but it stacks up to 4 times, making it 16%. 8 points in Fireblood, melee fire damage. This also applies to ShatterStrike and Fatality, so for some health. 25 points spent in the first part, the rest of the points spent in the second part. We need the Gemini because we want to have 2 swords equipped. 8 points in Dexterity, fire damage for fire attacks, cold damage for cold attacks. 5 points in health and chance to gain mana. We will have full mana all the time with this ability. 10 points in Volka's Racer. Basically, what this does is we will deal more damage with high mana cost ability, which is the ShatterStrike. The Firebrand costs 0, it doesn't apply. And then we have the Blade Weave. I have to put some more points in this. We do not max this because we basically will go Firebrand, 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 and then ShatterStrike. So we need just a couple more points. 2 points is enough. This will deal more damage. That when you're using the charger, you will get more charges, and the spender will spend it dealing 15% more elemental damage per charge spent. So basically it will be around 3-4 charges all the time. Then I went for some more intelligence and ward per second, and then I went for more ward per second per 10 intelligence. These two go hand in hand. We will get more ward, making us more surviving more. For skills, we're running Teleport, FlameWard, EnhanceWpn, Firebrand, and ShatterStrike. Teleport, usual teleport. I went for some ward gain and some ward gain per intelligence. This will give us more survivability. Then, of course, the 50% increased elemental damage, which it isn't that huge, but it helps us see the huge numbers. And then 4 points travel when fire resist lightning resist. We don't really need this. And I get the copies of myself for a little bit more tankiness. Most of the time we will be teleporting away from the trash mobs and just have our big attack for the big guys. FlameWard, we want that 1 point in the Frost Ward to make us go from fire to cold. This will make our fire damage turn into cold damage, so our boost in damage will go for the spender, not the charger. And then I got some ward, less hit damage and less elemental damage taken. This will help our survivability a lot. Enhanced weapon, basically, we can use this as is to start attacking. So we will start attacking, we will hit enhanced weapon, we will make our Firebrand deal a lot more damage, and we can clear the trash just with enhanced weapon and Firebrand. Save the ShatterStrike for the big guys. Or you could use the Firebrand, charge it up, enhanced weapon, ward, teleport, get all those elemental damage together, hit ShatterStrike, deal massive amount of damage. Anyway, enhanced weapon, I went for attack speed to help us charge quicker. Then it's more duration, so it lasts longer. Reduced mana cost, increased melee elemental damage by 40%. Melee lightning, melee cold damage from physical, so this will give us extra lightning and cold damage. This helps us with both. Melee chill, this is more for a movement skill, and 5 points in added melee cold damage and increased melee cold damage. This will help us deal crazy amount of damage. This ability alone, we don't really need any other gear. With this, with enhanced weapon alone, we have all the damage we want. That's why we're on the gear, we're going mainly on health. Firebrand, Firebrand is the charger, as we explained. We went 3 points in damage. You can exchange these two. If you want more damage with the Firebrand, you can add more points and remove them from the ward gain. I went for the ward gain because the main attack damage is gonna be ShatterStrike, and I'd rather be safe. The character is still deathless and I don't plan on dying anytime soon. 2 points in maximum stacks, so we have more maximum stacks. If we hit more with Firebrand, it will give us more charges. ShatterStrike will do even more damage. The incineration, is what makes us deal more damage, because the next attack that is not Firebrand will eat up the stacks and deal 20% more damage per stack. So the more stacks we have, the more damage ShatterStrike will do. This is the most important one, the illuminating fire. When we have 3 stacks of Firebrand, the next attack will be a guaranteed crit. So basically we want to use ShatterStrike after having 3 stacks of Firebrand, so we crit all the time. ShatterStrike repeats itself 3 times, so that's 3 crits. We went for stack duration and for the Everflame, which refreshes our stack. Basically the countdown starts all together. The stacks of Firebrand are not calculated as one stack, they are as one ability, they are calculated as all stacks as a whole. Therefore they will recharge and expire altogether, giving us more time to use our ShatterStrike, maybe to position and something like that. ShatterStrike, massive damage ShatterStrike. We went 2 points, increased global cold damage and global freeze rate multiplier. It's a travel. 1 point in damage and area, it's a travel point. We went 2 points in recast, in whiteout, but what it does, it recasts, so the ShatterStrike will be cast 3 times rather than once. It gives us less attack speed and more mana cost, but we don't care about that. We are gonna use ShatterStrike once in a while, and attack speed we're not gonna be spamming it, so we're just gonna use it once and then flip back to Firebrand. Cold penetration and area, this will give us obviously more area, and cold penetration will make our hit as if the target has less resistance to cold, therefore dealing more damage. Crit multiplier per sword. This will give us 120% crit multiplier per sword. So we have two swords, it will give us 240 crit multiplier. This is an insane ability. Damage, reduced attack speed. Again, we don't need attack speed, we need the damage to see the bigger numbers. And then I went for Cold Presence. Cold Presence will make ShatterStrike hit deal more damage to enemies at high health. High health being over 65%. Firebrand is not gonna do more than 40% to the bosses, so the Firebrand is probably gonna do a little bit of damage, and then you ShatterStrike, it will deal 100% more damage times 3 because we're gonna hit 3 times, and it will deal just a massive amount of damage. For gear, I went all my idols are health and resistances to increase my health and makes me tankier. Helmet, this is the best helmet you can get. It has dexterity, intelligence, and ward per second, which are really amazing for this build. Armor and necrotic resistance are fine. If you don't have this helmet, go for something with dexterity, maybe some cold damage. Weapon, I went for the Shard of the Shattered Lance. This item is a common drop from the God Hunter Argentus, which is in the monoliths. So you will be able to get it with a couple of tries. It gives us the plus base melee cold and the 100% increased melee cold damage, which is really great. It also gives us some health regeneration, and we can further buff it with the relic. It's also a common drop. It gives us more health regeneration, increased melee cold damage, and melee cold damage increased per 10 health regeneration as a base stat. We will get some good health regeneration because they both give us health regeneration, and I'm running two swords. Other than that, the gear is basically elemental damage. You can either choose to go cold damage or elemental damage. We are using Firebrand, which is a fire ability, and Shattered Strike, which is a frost ability. So you can either go cold damage to have a huge damage with the spender, or we can have elemental damage to have damage on both of them. Other than that, it's just damage, uh, dexterity, armor. Well, armor is not good on this one. You can choose a resistance instead, but health. So yeah, cold damage, health. This ring is really bad, but you got the idea of resistance is cold damage, health. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Bye.